William Regal, though, that's a different story. They had a backstage promo with Regal. Surprise, surprise. It was great stuff. He talked about how he's nearing the end of his 30-year career in wrestling. The one thing above all else that he wanted so badly was to be the world champion. At least once, he wanted to be the world heavyweight champion. And he admitted that the only reason it never happened was because I've got a knack for getting myself into trouble. So again, something of a work shoot here where he's drawing upon some stuff that happened where he got suspended. If you remember, he got, actually I think he's got 2 wellness policy suspensions on his record. But there was a period back around 2009 where Regal was one of the hottest stars in the company. And when I say hottest stars, I mean he had more heat. Like Vicky Guerrero has nuclear heat. Regal had a similar kind of heat back then. He was in this position as the commissioner, I believe, at the time. He would do that gimmick where when the fans would boo him and wouldn't shut up and let him speak, he would have the lights in the arena turned off. And he was all over television every single week. He was in a very prominent role. That was the one time in that man's career where I honestly thought if there was ever a shot that this guy could hold a world title, that was it. He had so much heat built up as a heel, and you still had the 2 world titles that, not the WWE title, but I could see them giving him a brief run with the world title. I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility that that could have happened. He could have been a world champion. I mean, you know, they considered giving Jerry Lawler the WWE Championship when he feuded with Miz in early 2011. They had a couple of matches together. The second match, I think it was the Elimination Chamber match that they had for the title. It was just one-on-one, Miz and Lawler, after they had their TLC match on Raw. That was awesome. There was thought at the time, you know, they thought very seriously. Vince McMahon considered putting the title on Lawler, which I think would have been fine, provided that Miz won the belt back the next night. You're not going to have Lawler win the title and defend it at WrestleMania, but I would not have had a problem, even though Lawler was almost 60 years old at that point. He was so over. And the story they were telling of, you know, the young heel against the older veteran, if Lawler would have gotten a feel-good win at the Chamber and won the title and then dropped it back to Miz the next night, that would have been fine. And they actually considered it. So, you know what? If they gave serious consideration to putting the title on Jerry the King Lawler at age 59 or whatever he was at the time, believe me, it's not out of the realm of possibility or believability that they could have given William Regal a short run with the world title back, you know, 4 or 5 years ago. And so in this promo, he's kind of hearkening back to that and saying, I got nobody to blame but myself. I fucked up on that one. And he did. He got busted and he got suspended. So he was off television. He lost his commissioner's post. I think it was actually Mr. Anderson, Ken Kennedy, who beat him in a match. And it was very thrown together at the last minute because they had to get Regal off TV. I think the next day they announced his suspension. And they really haven't had the same level of trust in him ever since. He's lucky they didn't just cut ties and fire him altogether. I'm sure it's his friendship with Triple H is the reason why he still has a job. But he'll never be in that position again. He'll never be prominently featured on TV. He sure as hell won't ever be considered for a world title run. And he talked about that here and said it bothers him. He's got nobody to blame but himself.